All right, in the world of tech and finance, all eyes are turning to India for what could be a truly history-making event. We're talking about the IPO of Reliance Jio. And look, this is not just another company going public. This is the company that completely rewired a nation of over 1 billion people. The numbers behind its public debut, they're just staggering. So let's start with this number, $120 billion. Just let that sink in for a second. That's not the GDP of a small country, it's the potential valuation of a single company hitting the stock market. And to be clear, this isn't just a big number, it's a record-breaking one. I mean, this IPO is on track to become the largest in Indian history, by a long shot. And the story of how Jio even got to this point is every bit as remarkable as that valuation. And hey, this isn't just speculation. This news comes straight from the top. At the company's big annual general meeting on August 29, 2025, Chairman Mukesh Ambani himself laid out the timeline. He officially kicked off the countdown to this blockbuster event. So, to really understand why this IPO is poised to just shatter every record, we first need to get a handle on the company at the heart of it all. So, yeah, let's dive into that. Who exactly is Reliance Jio, and how did they become this dominant force so fast? In a nutshell, Jio is the ultimate market disruptor. You gotta remember, back in 2016, it just exploded onto the scene and completely turned the Indian telecom industry on its head. How? By making data unbelievably cheap and voice calls totally free. That single move kicked off a massive digital revolution across the entire country. I mean, the speed of their growth when you look at this timeline is just astounding. From that crazy launch in 2016, they pulled in billions from tech titans like Meta and Google by 2020. Fast forward to today in 2025, and they've got over 500 million subscribers with a huge chunk, 200 million already on their 5G network. And now 2026 is the year. It's just a breathtaking climb. But here's the key, the thing you have to understand to get that massive valuation. Jio is not just a phone company, not even close. It's this sprawling digital ecosystem. They're in your home with Jio Fiber broadband, they're on your screen with Jio TV and Cinnamon, in your wallet with JioPay, and even showing up at your door with JioMart. This whole ecosystem is what makes them so incredibly powerful. And that ecosystem drives some pretty incredible numbers. So let's do a little financial deep dive and look at the hard data behind this whole IPO. It all starts with the user base. We're talking more than 500 million people. To put that in perspective, that is more than the entire population of the United States and Canada combined. That incredible scale is the foundation for everything else they're building. And that massive user base? Yeah, it's translating into some seriously strong financials. In just the first quarter of fiscal year 2026, the company saw its revenues jump 19% and profits surge by a whopping 25% year over year. This is exactly the kind of healthy growth chart investors dream of seeing right before an IPO. Okay, now this slide really puts it all into perspective. Just look at the giants of India's IPO history. Coal India, Paytm, the massive insurer LIC, even the recent Hyundai listing. Now look at Jio. The estimated size of their offering, around 52,200 crore rupees, it doesn't just beat them. It could nearly double the size of the most recent record holder. It's just in a completely different league. So this brings us to a really critical question. With all its success as a private company, why go public at all? And maybe more importantly, why now? Let's unpack the strategy here. Well, the strategy really boils down to 3 key goals. First, they want to supercharge their expansion into artificial intelligence, especially by leveraging those partnerships with giants like Meta and Google. Second, they need cash to fund a major push into global markets. And third, let's be honest, it's about delivering a massive payday for those early investors who backed their incredible growth. And beyond their internal strategy, the external conditions are just perfect. The Indian stock market has been hitting record highs, and as we just saw, Jio's own financial performance is rock solid. It's a classic case of striking while the iron is hot. So, let's bring it all home. What does this absolutely massive IPO actually mean for you, for potential investors, and for the market as a whole? For investors, it's a classic case of high risk, high reward. On the one hand, this is a rare chance to invest directly in a dominant market leader that's shaping India's entire digital future. On the other hand, an IPO this huge could temporarily suck up so much cash that it actually strains the rest of the market. You add in fierce competition and huge capital costs, and it's pretty clear this is a high-stakes game. So, for anyone out there thinking about investing, analysts are offering some pretty clear advice. First, diversify. A single stock this big can really unbalance a portfolio. Second, do your homework and research the valuation carefully. Make sure the price makes sense beyond just the hype. Third, you probably want to view this as a long-term hold because Jio's biggest plans in AI and 5G will take years to fully play out. And finally, keep a close eye on company announcements because this sector moves incredibly fast. And all this leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? Is this just one company's IPO, or is it something bigger? Is it the starting gun for India's AI-powered future? Because this feels like far more than just a financial transaction. With its deep ties to AI and the nation's digital backbone, the success of this IPO could very well be the launchpad for India's next great technological leap. And that's a story we'll all be watching very, very closely.